I'm very happy to the conclusion we came to. You know, I thought we had a very good process in terms of the search committee involvement and a number of people that are interested in our job. And again, that allowed us to really make a really good decision and weigh our final decision against a bunch of good candidates. And anytime you have a strong pool, a lot of interest, and a good process in place, it's going to lead you to a good decision. I'm very happy with that.
Did the amount of support that Coach Lunsford had with the players, former players, even recruits, did that help the committee's decision?
Well, anytime, you know, and this is kind of a unique deal. You know, I don't only know Chad through this 6 games as the head coach. I've known Chad as an assistant coach, and I've watched him go through a number of different challenging situations through a couple of different staff changes. So you've constantly got this theme of, you know, Chad has always been the guy that when turmoil or controversy or change hits, the players rally around him. So I don't know if it helped us make a decision, but what it helped us understand is that he is a guy that can bring our team together and get our team motivated and go in the right direction when things aren't going exactly the right way.
At what point did he start to stick out to you as the best candidate?
Well, as we went through the process, you know, we have the luxury with him of seeing an on-the-field performance. I see him perform every day as a head coach in our office. So, you know, we went through and we felt like what we needed to do as a committee is go and really research our candidates, create a pool of people for him to compete against. And that would kind of weigh out us being able to see him every day. So when we put him in the pool and began to weigh him out, it became very evident to us in the last 24 to 48 hours that he was going to be our guy.
TK, what does he do that maybe Tyson didn't do? What separates him?
Well, I never want to get into comparing people. I think at the end of the day, what the strength that Chad has is when, you know, you've watched him in our game situations. You know, he's been in a situation where things haven't been going well, and he's stayed the course. He's rallied the troops. He's somebody that is going to have a steady personality. I think outside of what you see on the field, when you talk to our department, when you talk to the people, the morale of this place wasn't in a very good spot several weeks ago. I mean, we were down, and immediately, even though we didn't have success on the field, immediately, you know, Chad began to work on that and get people going in the right direction. So I was seeing things when this change happened behind the scenes that you all weren't necessarily seeing. So I think one of his strengths is being able to rally people, get people behind, and believing in what we're doing.
We've seen some reports that a couple of FCS head coaches were in the mix for this job, but did the FCS playoffs become a barrier? Because I know these coaches might didn't want to read the teams in the middle of the playoffs.
No, I think you know, for us, we sat down with every candidate. You sit down brings a different set of challenges. We had FCS head coaches who were in playoffs. We had guys that were coaching in conference championship games at the Power 5 level. We had guys that had a lot of challenges, and one of the things that I told our committee is we were not going to let any barrier or any challenge that those coaches had upon themselves affect us in our decision. I wanted everybody to understand what those challenges were when we brought those candidates to the table, and then we would evaluate them knowing that if it was an FCS coach and he couldn't leave to the end of the season, that was part of our decision, but we shouldn't allow that to influence whether he's a final candidate or not. If you're a coordinator that's coaching in the conference championship, we knew that going in. We didn't want to let that influence our final decision. So everybody was made aware of everybody's challenges and what that was in the process. So I don't think it hindered us at all.
Did you guys interview anyone with flex bone background?
Yes, we did. We looked at, you know, again, when you talk about Georgia Southern and you talk about the Georgia Southern traditions, I think anytime you go through a process, you've got to have that in your process. I mean, it's just a strong part of what we do here at Georgia Southern, and it's a strong part of our culture. And we put a person or several people that had option experience into the process, weighed them as a candidate just as much as we weighed everybody else.
Coach Summers' buyout and the terms of this contract, can you go into any of that?
Well, Coach Summers' buyout's been reported on. Coach Summers' buyout is a $600,000 buyout for the remainder of his contract. The terms of this contract, our new head coach will make $650,000 as a base, okay, and there will be some incentives within that contract that allow him competitively, if he achieves some goals, that will get him to one of the highest contracts in the league. It'll be a 4-year term, okay, and I think that's probably the general gist of what you need. Is there anything else you want to know about that? Contract stuff?
You mentioned when this process started that the new signing day had kind of created some new time crunches for this. How much of a relief is it from your standpoint to have this done? Here we are 3 weeks out from the new signing period.
Well, I think that was one of things that I said, like you said, when we made the change, it was an important factor, but I was not going to let that be a factor that forced us into a bad decision. Again, everything that we did came down to hiring the right guy. No matter what external factors that was applying pressure, it was about hiring the right guy. Now, am I happy that we've got the right guy and that we're in a situation where we can help recruiting? Absolutely. I think that's a big benefit of what's going on right now.
Some people talk about it as an it factor. It's more than just winning. We've all seen the videos in the locker room after the wins. Chad's got it. What is it?
I think it is when the bullets are flying, the chips are down, and things are going, I'm going to believe in that guy. And what I saw in our kids, you know, we didn't have immediate success the first 2 games, but we kept growing, we kept growing, we kept buying. I saw more and more buy-in from our players as we went through the process. And I think what you see is when things aren't going very well, but people continue to buy in, there's your it, right? There's your it factor. People believe in the process, people believe in what you're saying. You're able to lead young men when things aren't going very well.
Tom, when Dale McGee took over as the interim head coach, won the GoDaddy Bowl, the players really wanted him as their next head coach. You went in a different direction. This time around, the players really want Chad Lunsford as their next head coach, and you went in this direction. What is the difference this time maybe to last time?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. You know, every coaching search is different, and it's different because every team that you're going through a coaching search with is different at that particular time. That team 2 years ago was very different than this team today. When you look at this team today, this was a very young team. A young team that had heard a lot about transition, a lot about change, a lot of things that were going on, a lot of kids that had not been through the experiences of college athletics. So for me, I needed somebody that, I felt that could connect with our team and guide them through some of this stuff without a lot of answers in place.
The merger with Armstrong State and the addition of 7,000 student athletic fees kind of enable you guys to bump up the coaching salary that you can offer?
No, we actually had a conversation internally, and the enhanced salaries and the things that we're trying to do salary-wise will all come from external, you know, our athletic foundation and our board members and a number of members of our athletic foundation stepping up and helping with that process. I will tell you that merging with Armstrong has helped get candidates interested in our job. There was a lot of people that I felt knew about that consolidation and felt that that was actually an asset to the job and why they were interested in the job.
Anything else, guys?
Got a question. Future schedule. Can you touch on any of that today?
Not until the deal's done. We're still waiting to sign it, but I think you guys are going to be very happy. We got some teams coming in here that have not been to Paulson Stadium before, and we'll announce that pretty soon, but we're still waiting on some final signatures. And I promise you I won't keep it from you. I'll get it to you as quickly as possible. Okay?